All right, for his only piece of say in this episode, we're throwing it over to Chris for his reaction to the men's and women's Australian Open finals.
Madison Keys, baby. Are you kidding me? So, everyone that has ever watched this podcast knows I don't follow women's tennis. I put a flyer on her in the quarterfinals. I put a flyer on her in the semifinals. I put a flyer on her in the finals, baby. Madison Keys is my number one player in the world, my very favorite player, because every time I bet on her, she just kept winning. And when she lost that second set against the Kazakh Queen, the odds jumped over in the Kazakh Queen's favor. Boom, double down. Amazing run. Congratulations, Madison Keys. Thank you for bringing it home to America. That's all I got.
What about Jannik? What about the men?
I'm going to be nice, remember?
No, I don't remember. Tell us how you feel.
The only way somebody wins that easily the entire way through is if they're a cheater.
So you think
The
he
only way you
cheated
beat
his
Big
way
Z in
to
100%. There's no one that's ever been that much better than the competition ever in tennis. So make what conclusions you want. It's 100 years of data.
I don't know about that.
Tell me another time in tennis that somebody's ever been this dominant. Who's
Federer
also
or
tested positive for
Nadal.
performance enhancing drugs.
It's
Oh,
only
sorry.
been
Who's
less than
also
two
tested
years.
positive. Who's also tested positive for performance enhancing drugs.
Um, well, I don't know. I don't know. I can't tell you about the history of
I have
testing
one word for you before I go
in
because they're on
tennis.
boarding group 99. Unprecedented. It's unprecedented that in the history of sports, someone who tested positive for performance enhancing drugs has continued to reign supreme in the sport they tested positive in. Look at John Jones in the UFC. He had to take such a long hiatus before they would welcome him back. Look
Well,
at everyone else.
Look at
he's
every
still
baseball
reigning
player.
supreme.
Yeah, Barry Bonds is never getting the Hall of Fame because of it.
Well, there's plenty of players that are that, everyone that got wrapped up in the whole Alex Rodriguez, I can't remember the name of that company scandal. They still kept playing
Iran
baseball and
Contra.
dominating.
This Iran
Yeah.
Contra affair.
Iran Contra affair, yeah. All those guys got
I
wrapped
thought it
up
was the
and
Bay of Pigs.
still, and
Balco.
yeah, that does sound right. Balco.
Yeah,
Those
it is
guys still
Balco.
kept
Balco.
playing baseball after that and had
Yeah.
and still dominated the league.
Yeah, but everybody knew they were on steroids and it was awesome.
You know what? I don't think we're ever going to talk any sense of sensibility into Chris about this.
All right, goodbye,
Uh,
Yannick. Goodbye, Yannick lovers. I'll see you in Texas. Vic, I'm in your city all week. I'll see you soon.
All right. Looking forward to it. Bye.
all right, here comes the drop. Hello and welcome back to the Gambling Racket, the sports gambling podcast aimed at giving you the angles and insights into successfully betting on professional tennis. My name is Ben, and once again, I'm joined by only one of my co-hosts this week, Vic, to recap the men's and women's singles championships at the Australian Open and to look forward into the first week heading out of Down Under, going up under to France, and maybe talking about the Davis Cup as well. We're not going to be joined by Chris today. Hopefully you caught his little cameo before the intro, though, to once again see
He's a
him harp
political
on.
prisoner of the Trump administration. These Nazis, these fascists have come in and they've arrested Chris. I know tennis Twitter is all leftist, so this will make us go viral. Chris is missing. He's a political prisoner of the Trump administration.
So,
Okay.
so you're saying that plane he was just boarding was like a C-17 down to Guatemala or something?
Yeah, he's being deported. He is being
All right.
deported
He probably
over his
deserves it.
face tattoos,
He's
profiling.
probably he's probably a bigger drain on the economy than most illegal immigrants, anyways.
That's
Um,
100% true.
all right. Well, they've already heard his reaction to Madison Keys and Jannik Sinner winning the championship. So Vic, sorry, give the fans your reaction to what we just saw.
Yeah, Sinner took it straight sets. Glad I didn't wake up to watch that one at 2:30 in the morning. I watched Big Z against Joker in the semifinal, and he's just like so passive when he's not on the serve. Like and I was looking at the stats in the final with Sinner, and then I watched the replay, and he's just never aggressive. He doesn't get any break points. Like he's not really an aggressive player. He's way too passive, and he's good enough to beat guys who aren't like top four in the world. But when he plays somebody who's on it, who's really good. He just never gets the break. I don't know. What do you think you stayed up and watched it. You
Yeah.
weren't a bum like me and watched it in the morning. Uh so tell me, what do you think? Like, is he too passive on the baseline when he's not when he's on the defensive? I just think he's never going for it.
Yeah. So the thing is, he's not even on the baseline. He stands so far behind the baseline, he can't be aggressive. He can only return until Sinner makes an incredible shot. I did stay up. It started at 12:30 local time for me, so I was up till like 3:30. Each set took, man, not even an hour, but like in total, on averaging like an hour a set. And it was a no doubter. The only thing that was like even a little bit controversial was in the first set. Zverev was looking for two of his rackets or one of his rackets. He gave two rackets to the stringing team before the match started, an hour before it started, and they lost one of them. And he realized it around like the fourth or fifth game, and he was all pissed off. And you're like, you know how Zverev gets. If
Yeah,
one
yeah.
thing goes wrong, his mental is just collapsing, and he looks real
Mental
sad.
midget. Yeah.
Yeah. So that happened for a couple games. He almost got broken when it first happened, and then he got broken the next game. But you're exactly right. He's not aggressive. He's got the big serve. He had more aces than Jannik did in the match. I would have liked to see him like he had a few nice volleys too. I would like to see him serve and volley a little bit more, but
Yeah.
he cannot fucking find a window of opportunity, or he just like doesn't feel comfortable taking advantage or taking risks when Yannick's on the serve. Yannick's serve is big, and he's a great returner as well, but nothing Zverev did even hinted at him like having a game plan to exploit any holes or gaps in Yannick's game. It was just, I'm going to go out there and see if I can survive, and he just absolutely didn't.
Yeah, 100%. It's like that's how he beat Tommy Paul too. Like Tommy Paul had set point was serving for the set both times, and then he just like choked it away. But like
Yeah.
Zverev, he just like lets you beat yourself. That's all he does. He's not going for the kill. He does not really going for the kill shot. So I don't know if he's ever gonna get over the hump. I think he can get to a lot of finals, but to win a final against a top guy, you have to have some balls. You got to fucking go for it. So,
Seriously. We'll see. He is his best surface is clay, so maybe
yeah.
the French is his event this year, but it's going to take a lot of coming back. I mean, if you caught any clips from the post match ceremony, he's crying. It was hard for him to get through his speech. He was just like, he's
Oh,
devastated.
also want to say one thing. Some Australians yelled out at him about the whole allegedly beating his ex-girlfriend thing.
Yeah.
So he won that court case. He's suing this fucking journalist for libel and got this guy fired. So I'm inclined to believe that maybe he didn't fucking do it. And I just want to use this opportunity also to talk about Australian fans being fucking scumbags overall in general. Booing Joker after the semifinal when he had to retire early. Booing the kid, booing the fucking GOAT, booing the greatest of all time, then fucking yelling at somebody during their fucking concession speech after the final. Dirtbags, fucking dirtbags. I'm telling you, you're next, motherfucker. Trump is gonna go for Greenland, and then we're coming for you. We're coming for you, Australia. 52nd state.
Yeah, it's not very convincing. It's not very moving to go on social media and see folks try and make this statement like, "Oh, look how noble the Australian fans are. They're calling out Zverev on his bullshit." The tennis subreddit hates Zverev, obviously, so they love that shit. When like just a few days before they're booing a guy with a torn fucking hamstring or torn quad limping off the court,
And he
who
played amazing. That was an amazing set against Big Z. That was some
I know
fucking high
it was.
level shit. You know?
Yeah, it's just you can't just pick and choose what battles you're going to try and look like the good guy in. I think overall, compounded by the fuck ups from Australian media, it was just not a good look for Australia in general this year in Melbourne. but there were some decent lead up events, so I'm not going to say the whole country's trash, but 2025 not off to a good start for the Aussies.
I'll say it. We're coming for
Not
you,
to mention Max
Australia.
Purcell not even being able to compete because of his vitamins that he took while he was in Vietnam and hungover or some shit like that.
His
It's just like,
IV.
yeah, yeah, the IV of vitamins that he got, vitamins.
And then
All of
Gordon
this just kind
Johnson
of
got
kept
down.
compounding and compounding and compounding, and they want to end on we don't like sexual assaulters, alleged sexual assaulters. I think the chant was something along the lines of Australia believes Olya and Brenda.
Fuck
Cool.
them. Fuck you, Australia. Fuck you. You bums. You're on the list, motherfuckers. All right,
Well,
but besides that, for the women's final, I thought, yeah, Madison Keys, what a fucking run. What a run. Like
yeah.
the fucking list of killers she went through to get there. Daniel Collins, Rybakina, fucking Iga, and then Sabalenka. Like I'm leaving somebody off that list as well that she beat who's pretty good. But it was just a wild, wild run for her. Amazing for her to win her first Grand Slam. Good for her, man. I mean, that's fucking awesome. She played great tennis. So
Yeah, you love to see an American taking home the championship in any sport, and she absolutely deserved it. She played amazing tennis. All over yesterday, all over social media, I was seeing clips of just like the incredible shots that she was making against Sabalenka, and just like it's an understatement how difficult some of those shots are. So she definitely earned a great win. I hope she enjoys it. I hope she takes the time to like really soak it in. It's her first major, and um, she's one of the older American players on the tour as well. So
I think
I'm
she's like
glad.
29. She's an old lady, old lady. I'm fucking
But
35, and I look at that old one.
right, right. By our standards, she's by tour standards, she's yeah,
Ancient. Yeah.
ancient, but what a
What's that
ridiculous
joke? Oh,
standard.
I've got my whole life ahead of me, and then it's like here's the oldest player in the league, and he's 1 year older, younger than you. Madison Keys is 29.
Okay. So yeah, I didn't have plays for the finals for either because I had futures on Sabalenka and Zverev and lost them both.
Ooh, that
And
hurts.
I don't hedge. I don't hedge. I don't do that. So yeah, it was
Live by the sword, die by the sword. So what were the numbers then that you would have cashed if they would have won?
Zverev was plus 900, so would have walked away with $900 there. And Sabalenka was plus 225, so that would have been if they had both won, it's 1,125 bucks I would have walked away with.
Yeah, it's nice
And
little
instead,
man. It's nice when your futures are still alive, that last weekend,
yeah,
So
exactly. Oh,
that's
you
always
know
a good
what?
feeling.
Those weren't full unit bets. I think they were half each. So it would have been half of that, but still, uh, yeah. So it sucks to be there and walk away empty-handed. But hey, maybe start fading me once we get to the finals on these futures. I feel like I pick players that can get deep into these tournaments, but seldom actually walk away with a championship. My thinking around a guy like Zverev is that I gotta hope that he doesn't run into Sinner, essentially, that Sinner gets knocked off by somebody else, and that he has a great match against Alcaraz. Yeah, that's basically what I had to what I had to rely on here, and
I
unfortunately,
would take
Sinner.
Alcaraz against Big Z on any surface, I think. Even Clay, I would take Alcaraz over Big Z.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
would take him on clay. I would. It's more of a toss up for me on hard court.
you
Uh,
think so?
yeah, not by any like data driven metric. It's just kind of a feel thing there, and but not against. It's just Sinner. Sinner is like my kryptonite because I don't
Yeah.
ever want to bet on him because his odds always suck. But now he's
Yeah.
always winning. So what are we supposed to do? It's no
Well, he'll
fun,
probably
man.
be suspended for the next two Grand Slams. So we might be able to pick some different winners next
When
time.
is that? When's that coming? That decision coming
So
down?
his trial, his like appeal is supposed to be heard sometime in April.
Okay.
So end of April is what I read. So that'd be if he gets like a 2 month suspension, he's out of Roland Garros and Wimbledon then. So
Yeah. Damn, Roland Garros is May
end of
25th,
May.
end of May.
Yeah, end
Yeah.
of May.
Wow. Okay. Well, we'll see. I would personally would be shocked if that ended up happening if they suspended him from both slams. But yeah, damn, that would be wild.
Yeah. Yeah. Tennis be all over the news. Maybe people would watch the podcast, you know?
Maybe you heard it here first.
Yeah,
Wild.
for real.
All right. Well, let's let's wash our mouths of this Australia trash and start moving on
Bums,
to
scoundrels.
some indoor hard court. I've only one tournament this week, 250 up in Montpellier in France, indoor hard court with reigning champion. Who is it?
Alexander Bublik.
That's right.
Bublik, fucking champ last year. So last year I had a horrible Australian Open and I made my money back on Bublik and helped really turn things around for me early. So, spoiler alert, gonna do it again, even though Bublik looked like shit. Do you want to go through the field real quick?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, so our top seed is Andre Rublev. Actually, I'll just read the odds because that's better. So Rublev is plus 350, FAA plus 450, Kabali plus 750, Greek Sport plus 1,000, Bublik plus 1,000, Eubanks 2,000, Borna Coric, who made it to the final last year, plus 2,000, and then Rinderknecht plus 2,000, and your favorite young Frenchman, Ben, Arthur Cajot plus 2,000. So, I mean,
My
it's
favorite.
Rublev, FAA, and then a bunch of guys. That's the way it was last year too, whereas Holger Rune as it was the Rublev character, and then it was like kind of a bunch of like mid-tier guys who, depending on who's on, can win. So a fun tournament to bet. Definitely a fun tournament to bet. Like you said, indoor hard court. So whoever's got the big serve is going to do well.
Yep. Yeah, we're seeing a lot of guys that are not, all the guys that aren't French are essentially early exiters from the Australian Open because they're rested, they're ready to get back into the action. A tournament like this, if I recall correctly, you want to bet Frenchmen to make it deep into the tournament, but not win the tournament. Uh, so I'm looking at guys like Rinderknech, maybe even Manarino to have an unexpected upset. Just like, he's going to use all the gas he has in the tank for the entire year in this one tournament. And
Mayotte is on the field, however you say it, and he made the quarterfinal last year, and he's got like a decent
okay, he's
velocity.
playing Render Kenshin. So maybe that's the early round upset. I got to dig into specific matchups a little bit deeper. I'm also looking at guys like this. This feels like a tournament that a guy like Eubanks might be able to upset Andre Rublev in the second round, around to 16. Just because it's Rublev and he's unbettable right now still. So
Yeah,
yeah,
and I mean this is Eubanks's wheelhouse, right? Like big serve, indoor, no weather. And that's why Bublik won last year because Bublik hits like fucking 12 aces a game. And when you're
yep,
indoors, he doesn't have all the double faults because he also averages like 12 fucking double faults a game.
yeah,
So guys like Eubanks, I mean Eubanks plus 2,000, and if Eubanks beats Rublev, then I mean it's pretty easy field. Like he should
to
be in the
get to the final,
semifinals.
yeah, for real.
Yeah, so like Eubanks
Hmm.
plus 2,000 is not a wild play for me. I like that. But then I also look at Bublik's draw, and bro, there's nobody in his little quarter that I'm worried about at all. Like, I say that he's going to lose the first match. But Bublik plus 1,000, defending champ. This is a place where he plays well. He made a final before he won the championship. And one thing to note, last year when he won, he lost the first set in every match. So live bet opportunities galore
I love that.
at these ones. Um, but yeah, that's what I like. I'm gonna go fucking boobs again. Buyer beware at this point. He had a bad hip over the offseason. He looked like shit in Australia. Like really didn't look well. Like didn't wasn't moving well at all. But he hasn't played tennis in like 2 weeks, so let's see if it's better. I'm gonna take a flyer plus 1,000. But I might be losing my Kazakhstani citizenship. I might be hopping off the bandwagon here because not only is Bublik having health issues, we didn't touch on this, Ben. We got to talk about Rybakina real quick.
Oh
I
boy,
said
yeah.
I said that if Goran left the team, that'd be a giant red flag. Well, guess who just fucking left the team? Goran said, I am out of here, bro. I'm not dealing with this fucking shit with this ex-boyfriend crazy coach thing. So now I feel like giant red flag. Rybakina, like, bro, I don't know. I don't know. She might not be bettable. I was joking around and saying that there was going to be a Kazakhstani double in Wimbledon, Bublik and Rybakina, but I'd say 0% chance that happens now. So,
Yeah, it's not a good situation over there. Obviously, I trust Goran out of everyone involved. He seems to be a guy that makes level-headed decisions, and he's obviously money driven, but he's also pretty driven by success. And it doesn't sound like he's going to be seeing a lot of that, or he thought he'd be
and
seeing a lot of that if he stuck around.
he's like he was the coach for Djokovic forever. He's got plenty of money. He's like, I'm getting out of this fucking toxic situation. I'm not hanging around
Yeah.
this shit.
Well,
That was my
good for
read of it.
him. Good for
Yeah.
him being the bigger man here, being able to step up and walk away. Yeah.
Maybe you
So
were right, Pam. I don't know.
let's not throw out apologies too quick here. Let's see. Going back to the field here for Montpellier, I'm not touching a Kazakhstani. There are two in the field. Kukushkin's here as well. He'll be playing a qualifier in the first round.
Mhm.
Um, I don't plan on betting any of those. Honestly, the name that stood out to me the minute when I looked at the draw was FAA, but he's got a relatively easy draw. But damn, I don't really love him at plus 400 on Bovada right now. It's not terrible, but a half unit to win two is not super. It's getting me super excited right now. But that'd be my pick. I'd watch a guy like maybe Van der Zandschulp to have an early round upset against his fellow countryman Talon Griekspoor, and then Frenchman. Quentin Hollis, Puil against Bellucci in the first round. Yeah, Cajo's playing Wawrinka, and the winner plays FAA. And Stan is,
I
I know
think I
you
don't.
and Chris like throwing flyers on Stan, but I never throw a flyer on Stan. He's not he's not getting we're not getting Stan a man from
He's only plus
years ago
160.
back.
Dan the man plus 160 against Arthur Cajot. And thank God, bro. Like looking at these start times tomorrow for me right now. First match of the day is Daniel Altmaier at 9:30 local time. Thank you. Perfect. Perfect. Get the fuck
Wow.
out of the West Pacific, dude, or East Pacific, whatever the fuck it is, because I'm tired of this midnight tennis. I'm ready for some daytime tennis. So I'm happy about that.
Yeah, I hear you. That's rough. That's great though. I like that time. I wake up, catch a tennis match before I start some work. Love that. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'll decide on this future if I am going to put a number on FAA, but he'd be my pick to win this for sure.
I like your Eubanks call out, and I like boob leak. So I'm gonna do half a unit on each of those. I mean, boob leaks plus 1,000. Eubanks is plus 2,000. Eubanks, if he beats Rublev, then I think he's got like a legit shot. Like he should be the favorite after that. So you gotta bet him now early. FAA, like as much as I hate him, this is the kind of place he does really well.
Yeah.
Indoor hard court. He's got the huge serve. Um, I think he's just a
And
fucking
he
choke.
won he won an indoor event in France last year. I believe it was the week after this one would be. So
Yeah.
the schedule is different this year, but after Montpellier, they went to two other like French locations, and I believe he won one of those, and Hugo Humbert won the other. Uh,
Yep, yep, you're right. Yeah, I know. I remember what you're talking about. Um,
he seems like he's geared up, and he's got the title from right before the Australian Open as well. So he's in good form right now.
yeah, yeah. He didn't look great in Australia because it was outside, but the one he won in Australia was inside. So
Adelaide, right?
yeah.
All right,
And still hard
that's all I've
court
got
makes a
for this
difference.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, seriously, it really does, especially with guys like Bublik who just cannot get the wind figured out anywhere he goes in the world.
Yeah, for real.
All right. That's all I've got for the men, though. Did you want to cover anything, or I should say anything else for ATP side of the house?
No, nothing else ATP side for me.
Cool, same. The women are in Singapore this week, so they're staying in the South Pacific, hanging out. There's some interesting names that are playing. Kalinskaya, Sinner's girl, uh, Raducanu, the Wongs are here. Erica Andreeva's here. Taylor Townsend, Alicia Parks, and Dolahide for Americans. See any other? This is just a quick glance. Nothing crazy. Oh, Haley Baptiste as well. Nothing super exciting here. Again, a lot of the bigger names are resting up.
Yeah, I'm looking at the futures right now, and WTA Singapore, Raducanu is plus 550. She's the leader, and then Sinner's girlfriend plus 600, and Anismova plus 650. Mertens 700. I mean, Mertens plus 700 is pretty weak field.
That's a
Uh,
just a huge difference. Bovada has Mertens as the outright favorite at plus 450.
really? Wow,
That's
that's
way
wild.
different. Yeah, that's way different than what you're seeing.
Yeah.
Then Kalinskaya and Raducanu, Anisimova. Interesting. I wonder what
Yeah, still 650. I think that's the, if I had to fuck around with it, that's what I'd do. I'm not going to bet this one though.
no, me either. I'm just
I'm not
not
watching. I'm
interested
not
at
waking up to watch this.
all.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, let's see. What else do we have to look forward to looking past this week? Or are you familiar? I don't know if you're ready for that question, but I can cover that if
Um,
you want.
we yeah. So in the women's side, we have the Abu Dhabi Open on in February, and the Qatar Open right after that for the ladies. So they're going to be in the Middle East in in early February, and I think the men, like you said, they're sticking in France. Let's look at the schedule real quick.
No, they're actually the men are going to Rotterdam, so this is a 500 right
Oh
back
yeah,
into
the
it.
Dallas Open is next week. Fuck yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah, Dallas and Rotterdam are both next week. Okay, so
Yeah, and
uh,
Dallas just got upgraded to a 500 this year.
that's right. That's right. Hopefully, we can see Tommy Paul make another good run like he did. Who knows? Maybe we'll see Marcus Giron have a good few legs of his American swing like he did last year as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, really exciting. We just get 1 week off and we're right back into the 500 game, two in the same week. So that'll be a big episode next week.
Fuck yeah.
All right. So yeah, keep your eyes out for that. Keep your eyes out for our social medias so you can get our picks. I think there's a good opportunity this week to build those bankrolls back up if you did get hammered by the Australian Open this year,
That's
uh,
right.
and roll some winnings into both Dallas and Rotterdam. Let's see.
Kazakhstan, baby. Remember it. Kazakhstan.
Okay, he's still on the train. Never mind. Take back everything he said.
Fuck yeah, baby. Kazakhstan. We're going to war with the bookie.
All right. That's all I've got though, Vic. Anything else?
We talked Rybakina. I think that was the only drama besides the Joker injury. I mean, which we mentioned. But hopefully he'll be fine. Andy Murray, it's still up in the air if he's going to be the coach. I think, yeah, that's it. No other big news.
Yeah. Awesome. All right. Well, thank you guys for sticking around. If you made it this long, please hit up the subscribe button down in the description. Give us a like while you're here, and leave a comment if you like what you hear. Tell us about some big bets you might have cashed in on, and make sure you're checking us out on social media so you have up to the second updates on what our picks are. We can follow the main account at Faulty Picks on Twitter or X, and you can follow Vic personally at Young Busey on X as well. You can catch the podcast on Spotify. You can follow us just here on YouTube as well. I think we're working on a Discord channel still that we can get up and running to have a little bit more real-time interaction with folks who are really passionate about tennis gambling. So if that's something you're interested in, let us know and put a fire under our asses to get it done.
All right.
All
Thank you,
right.
folks.
In the meantime, this has been the Gambling Racket, and we'll catch you all next time.
Flipping pigeons. Come on, flip some pigeons. Come
That's the
on.
best I got.
There you go. There you go.
So terrible. I thought we changed it to a different bird.
Flipping doves.
Oh, no, that's terrible. We're not doing that.
All
All
right,
right.
man.